short background is connected with the last word of Anita about the interest of Katie in artificial intelligence, cognitive science, and so on, and also was part of the topic that they were developing the book that we edited together. And this is only a short background for the conference that is about the history of artificial intelligence, more or less, very short history of artificial intelligence. As we know, there are two main artificial intelligence programs in the history. One that was the program very popular during the 70s, 80s, was the simulative artificial intelligence that was started in a Dartmouth conference. The founding father of artificial intelligence were Professor Simon, Martin Minsky, Samuel, McCarthy, and so on. The artificial intelligence, according to this program, try to simulate, implement in the computer by advanced software like Prolog, Lisp, and so on, the most important in cognitive and sensory human function, planning, language understanding, sensory recognition, and so on. Simulative artificial intelligence that was based on descriptive protocol for computer simulation, descriptive protocol of the psychology of problem solving mainly of the human being. It had a lot of success in expert system, problem solving, simulation of scientific discovery, but the failure and weaknesses in machine translation, image, speech processing, artificial movement, and so on. Great success at the beginning, logic theorist and general problem solving by Herbert Simon and Alan Newell. Logic theorist was written in the 56 and is considered the first artificial intelligence program. He proved 38 of 52 theorems of Principia Mathematica by Whitehead and Bertrand Russell. It was based on deduction according rules of logic, and it was developed by search trees. But the innovation was that some branches were trimmed according to some rule that were called heuristics. The heuristic was already used as a word by Polya in the classic book of Mathematical Proof, and Simon and Newell applied to this first artificial intelligence program. Heuristic then would become an important area of research in artificial intelligence and remain an important method to overcome the intractable combinatorial explosion of exponentially growing searches. Now there is a lot of use of heuristic by cognitive psychology, particularly behavioral economics, from Kahneman to Tversky to Gigerenzer and so on. The heuristic was introduced strongly by Simon and Newell in this first program. General problem solver intended to be universal in his solving problem, and he used a particular heuristic. It was called means and analysis heuristics, and this was another great success. About this, with Katie Wilkes, we contribute to two volumes. One was published in Italy in 87, and another in Oxford University Press in 89, with the contribution of Martin Minsky, then Cleveland, Poggio, Davidson, Brightenberg, John Soler, Margaret Boden was also part of it, Blakemore, and obviously Katie Wilkes. The feature of simulative artificial intelligence, as I told you before, is psychology-based, that they simulate how the humans reason and solve problem, rely in a philosophy of mind in a token identity theory between mind and body, and with the metaphor of software and hardware like mind and brain, the analogy, was transparent and predictable. This was, in short few words, the first artificial intelligence program. The second, the emulative artificial intelligence, also called connectionism, approach that study the human mental problem cognition utilizing the artificial neural network. The first wave, as most of you know, was by McCulloch and Walter Pitts. The important article was the perceptron, probabilistic model for information storage organization in the brain, published, written by Frank Rosenblatt. But this first wave was, and this is part of science policy, really, politics more than science policy, was stopped and blocked by the simulative support artificial intelligence. Marvin Minsky and Simon Paper wrote an article against this approach, discouraging major funding agencies like National Science Foundation to support, and for many years this program was stopped. Disappear more or less from the publication because they had no more money to support this approach. And the inactivity was until the mid-80s. The term connectionist, in any case, was reintroduced in 1982 in the journal Cognitive Science by Gerald Feldman and Diane Balla. Second wave was in the late 80s. McClelland and Rumelhart introduced a couple of improvements to the simple perceptron idea, such as intermediate processor, known as hidden layers, alongside input and output units in the neural network, and use a sigmoid, non-linear activation function. This was the most important innovation, between 0 and 1 instead of the old all or nothing linear function. This was
Riccardo, can you hear me, Riccardo? Are you moving your slides as you talk?
Yes, yes, I am. I'm not sure.
I can see, but just the main slide. Are we meant to see the other slides?
Yeah, I have to get some technician to check that. Okay.
No, I thought that you were following the slide because now they are more or less the 10th slide. You see only the first one.
That's right.
Okay, now we check.
Nice. Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Do you see another slide?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Let's make it that nobody's.
Are you saying?
Sorry.
It's democratic.
No, no, it's okay. Okay. Do you see? Paul?
Very good.
Yes.
Then the term connection was introduced in 1982, and it is connected with the second wave. The advantage of this second wave, that was the most important step for neural network, was that the connection approach included this applicability to a broad array of functions. There was a structural approximation to biological neuron, low requirement of innate structure, and capacity for graceful degradation. The disadvantage obviously included difficulty in deciphering of artificial neural network cross information on account for the composability of mental representation. and also difficulty in explaining phenomena at the higher level. Then it became much less transparent with respect to the first wave of artificial intelligence. Now that we are in the current third wave, marked by advancing deep learning, with the introduction of a rectified linear unit function that empower the ability of computation, and this has allowed the birth of LLM, large language models. Obviously, the success of deep learning network in the past decade has greatly increased the popularity of this approach, but the complexity and the scale of such network has brought with them increased interpretability problem until ethical and legal consequences to be known. Now there are interesting new versions. For example, the AMI, artificial multiple intelligence system, that select the most effective algorithm from its ensemble, and particularly the advanced machine intelligence that is completely different from LLM, try to represent model of the world, and also to find a kind of cause-effect relation inside the world. In particular, the goal is to create an agentic system that can predict the consequences of their action and plan action sequences to complete tasks. It is interesting. Even the architecture are neural network in any case. They are not different architecture, but it is different from the LLM because try to represent the world as it is and to find the causal structure of the world. The two waves in philosophy of mind, we may say there was a parallel development in philosophy of mind. During the simulationist artificial intelligence, we know there was very strong functionalism, property dualism, Chalmers, script, Kim, Kim is in the middle, but particularly token identity theory. Putnam, Fodor, Davidson, they were the strong pillar in the philosophy of mind of the simulationist artificial intelligence. Also, the multi-realizability principle is one of the important philosophical principles of this approach. And during that time, the central state identity theory was not popular, was considered something linked to losers. Instead, after a while, with the connexionist approach, it became popular, but particularly the limitative materialism of the Patricia Paul Churchill, and also Feyerabend was a strong support of this, and also Katie Wilkes was very close to this kind of approach, physicalism and limitative. And I may propose the next way with the humanoid robot. Perhaps it's the kind of core cognition. We have a representative here, Andy Clark and Sean Gallagher, that is a strong